everyone, it's Kelly here. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel we talk books, and today I am actually doing some planning. Well, I have already done planning, but today I'm sharing with you my plans. So this is going to be showing you how I set up my reading journal because I have already set up my journal for 2026. So this is my journal for 24-25. I find that I can fit, just with the way that I do it, 2 years into one journal. And for the last 4 years, I've been using this specific kind of journal. The main reason was that my husband bought like 5 of them. So I've basically been using them as my reading journals. And I'm going to do the same, got the same kind ready to go for 2026. So this one I am concluding, and I'm mostly bringing across into my new journal the same kinds of things that I previously was doing, but I am slightly tweaking some things to make them work a little bit better for me this year. So let's get into it. First of all, the type of journal that I'm using is a moleskin. These are cloth bound ones, they're not leather, and it's a dot journal. So it has this elastic strap, which I find helpful for keeping things nice and neat, and it doesn't get in my way, so I'm quite happy with that. So on the inside, I start with a title page for the year. I'm going to zoom in just a tiny bit. Oh, okay. I start with the title page. So on the title page I just have the year and some stickers. These stickers that I used are from May Illustrations, and it's a shop on Etsy is where I got them, which I've written at the side here so I can remember where they're from if ever I want to. The washi tape I've used is just from Kmart in Australia, so nothing too fancy, but I just kind of colour themed it, and I used just the same colour, just one colour. Now because there is a little bit of bleed through on these, I tend to just write on the right hand side. I don't write on the left. I guess if I did I would be able to fit more in, but that is what it is. Okay, so this is my first page, which is where I have my reading goals written at the top. So my goals for 2026 are to read at least 52 books, which is the same reading goal. Wow, I'm just looking in the viewfinder and my face is huge because I'm not normally this zoomed in. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to try not to freak out when I see how closely we are zoomed. Read at least 52 books. It's the same number goal that I set for myself every year, which is a book a week, and so that's my plan. I have easily met that and exceeded it the last couple of years, so it fits in with my reading style and lifestyle as a goal that's not too pressured. It's about what I am reading, perhaps a little faster, but I no longer extend my goals when I hit them. I just leave it, and everything else is just bonus. This is a goal that I've set for myself the last few years and have never met. Literally never, and that is to read at least 10 ebooks. In 2025, I'm pretty confident at this point I have read 6, which is the best I've done in some years. Yeah, I'm up to 6, but there's a possibility before the end. I'm recording this right near the end of December, but not quite then, that I may have read a 7th one by the end, but let's just say it's 6. So this is an optimistic goal that I'm setting for myself here. Very optimistic. But it just is the reminder that I need, that I have ebooks, because I forget that they exist, basically. And I have so many. I have purchased many ebooks that I have never read. I also intend to read the Stella Prize. At this point I have not decided. I'll see how I'm doing when the long list comes out. I always aim to read the whole long list. I don't think I've succeeded in doing that for the last 2 years. So if I can at least read the short list, that would be great. but if I could read the whole long list, that would be even better. So I've just written read the Stella Prize. And a new goal that I'm setting for myself, if you watched, there was one of my Vlogmas videos that I did, I talked about setting up a series tracker, which was inspired by Krista at Books and Jams, who has a series tracker, like a spreadsheet. I want to make progress on 5 series. So that's basically, I want to intentionally make sure I'm coming back to series, because I'm finding that I'm, again, forgetting that I'm in the middle of a bunch of series. But now that I've got the tracker, hopefully that will help me to keep on top of where I'm up to with different series. Okay, then what I'm going to have down here, which looks like nothing at the moment, but I will show you what a completed one looks like. So this was my one for 2024. Basically, it's just a little track of how many books each month that I read, to sort of just kind of see out of interest, like the ebbs and flows of my reading. So as you can see from 2024, there were some months that I read 8 books, 2 months in May and June. I read 8 books each of those months, less in other months. And down here, one month, in September, I only read 3. So, yeah, anyway, that's just to kind of keep an eye on what's happening with my reading. So that's what is going to go down here. All right, on the next page, again, this is going to look very blank, is where I'm going to track the ebooks that I'm reading. I'll show you again what it looks like. Well, I say completed, but as we know, that has not happened. This is 2024's. I only read 4 ebooks there. So basically I just write down the title and author there. Okay, that's ebook tracker. Then I've got a spot to write down the Stella Prize books and a little check mark to mark them off as I read them. The Stella Prize long list is usually 12 books long, and I've got a spot down here to write the dates, and I'll have to look those up and I'll put them in. Something new that I'm adding is a spot for thoughts down the bottom, because I want to do a little reflection on the books that I read from the Stella Prize. Do I agree with the winner, etc., etc. I've got the same set up for the Miles Franklin Literary Award, which I haven't included as a goal, but I will have a look at, and I will decide based on what the books are how many of them I'm going to have a go at reading. But yeah, again, a spot for thoughts down the bottom. So in previous years I've done the same thing. So for example, in 2024, I've just listed the books down here. When they get shortlisted, I just write a little S next to the box to say it's the shortlist, and then I will write which one is the winner after the title of the book. So yeah, that's basically it. So you can see in 2024, I did not read the entire long list, but I did read the whole short list. And I did the same in 2025 as well. Okay, so that's what that looks like filled in. And then we just come to, and I just keep this super simple, a page where I can track all of the books that I've read. I'm doing this slightly different this year in that I'm writing the name of the month at the top. I don't know if you can see that with the colour I've got chosen here. And then I'm going to list all the ones I read in January underneath and so on. So what I've done in the past is, here's 2024 is filled out. So you can see I've just sort of written January at the side, and I've kind of made a little mark to show all the books I read in January. So I'm just kind of spreading it out a little bit more, I guess. So that's it for the kind of like overview pages. But then I have, and I've started to fill this in, I have pages that I do for each month. So I do a month overview page, and I just keep it super simple. So I've got the name of the month at the top. I've got books that are on my TBR, ones that I'm sort of like, how to think, and I've decided I want to have a go at reading. I won't get to all of them. That's just not going to happen. But I just setting a little intention. I will read some of them. And then I also have a little spot here for my YouTube content of like basically what I'm thinking that I will put out that week. I don't always keep to it. I kind of, you know, I mix it up. So for example, I've written journal setup as the last video for January, even though I'm filming it in December. Maybe I won't have one of these other ones filmed and ready to go, so I'll bump it up to a different week. Or maybe I won't make it. Sometimes I don't make the videos that I am intending. It's just sort of a little vague overview, and if the month turns out differently, it turns out differently, and that's fine. And then I've just got a spot for notes. Often in that spot I will write bookish related like dates and events and things that are going on. For example, like when my book club is meeting to talk about our international, this is our Read Around the World book club, and we have a meeting each month, and I usually write the date and time down there and which book we're talking about, etc. And then on the following page, and then I just kind of keep this open-ended until when I have read a book, I will write it in here, and I'll write a little summary and any notes for myself on that. So I will give you an example of them. So this is from 2024 also. So this is filled in. I've written the title, and I've written the author, and then I also write the rating next to it, and just a little summary for myself and my thoughts on the book. I again keep this super simple. I don't want to make this complicated. I'm going to zoom back out because it's freaking me out. But yeah, I keep it really simple because that's what works best for me in the way that I do things. If I made it super complicated, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't fill it in, and I have very consistently been filling these in. I also write my reviews on Storygraph, and then I copy paste them across to Goodreads as well. At some point I am going to get rid of Goodreads. I much prefer Storygraph. I think it's a much better platform. But at the moment I'm just kind of copy pasting across onto Goodreads as well. And I also in 2026 am going to be participating in the 52, what is it called? 52 book club? 52 week book club? 52 book club. And I bought the reading journal from Amazon for that. That's just the only place you get this journal from. So in this there's also a spot to write the reviews here. How much I do this, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I have in previous years, that's a lot of places to be writing the same thing down, basically. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much I end up using this. If this becomes too onerous, I will just stop. And I will just do all of my stuff just in my normal journal, because I don't, this I'm not as like, this doesn't feel as like legacy to me as the other one does. Keeping track and being able to look back through. So that's my journal. And I'm excited to get started in a brand new journal for the new year. That's always fun. Because yeah, I've been in 2025, I had been in the same journal that I used for 2024, just at the back. Oh, and one thing I should say as well is that, and you may have seen this when I turned to this page here, I create a little tab using washi tape just for the beginning page for, so I just kind of make it stick up from the title page. And the reason that I do that is because when I have 2 years in there, it's so that I can easily see where, so that's 2024's tab, this is 2025's tab. So I can see where 2025 begins, so that I'm not, when I want to kind of flick back to the pages where, for example, I'm putting in my months and where I'm recording all of the books that I've read, like the big list of books. I don't want to have to like be flicking from the beginning in the second year. So these little tabs just kind of help me keep track of where the beginning of each year is. And the main reason that I've done one for, even though I don't really need one for the first year, is because just consistency. So yeah, that's what works for me. Alright, so that's going to be it. I'm excited to start my new journal for 2026. Probably by the time you're watching this video, it will be towards the end of January. But I am really interested to know how you track your reading. Do you just do everything digitally? Do you have a physical journal or some other kind of physical place where you write down what you've been reading? Like, how do you kind of keep track of what's going on with your reading? Would love to chat with you about that in the comments. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.